So we'll get started. I want to teach again the nature of practicing yoga in the Pitta time of day, in a Pitta culture, with a Pitta flare, because we're having so much heat right now. What do we do to practice yoga without overheating, and in fact with kind of re-regulating the body temperature process that your body's trying to keep you well, and when it's feeling overheated, it will do certain things to try to move that heat so it doesn't cause damage to the places that are vital inside. And even at a subtle level, this will happen. So for some people in the Pitta season of life, in the Pitta time of day, in the Pitta season of the year, with a Pitta exacerbation, they're going to have things like headaches, because we call that Pitta rising, the fire is rising towards the head. So let's see what we can do to help your Pitta be really useful to you and collaborative with you. Pitta is best used for digesting food and transforming life experiences and information into knowledge and wisdom and action. So please take a comfortable seat, and I'll back up so I won't run into my computer. You can rest your hands in your lap, and please sit upright. Welcome yourself to your own practice by setting up your posture. And then allow your breathing to become smoother and deeper. Allowing that means releasing any unnecessary tension in the belly, for example. Also allowing that means that there's a sense of the value to the smooth, deep breath according to your body. And your mind recognizes that and says, oh, let me set aside my distractions. We're coming back to this harmonizing practice right now. And once you first allow the breath, then you start collaborating with. So don't start collaborating before you have this permission or this sense of humility about, oh, here's the breath, that which nourishes your body so much, and that which has such an influence on your mind. So first we come with allowance, observation, respect, and then we collaborate with or partner with the breath. So you can invite the inhale to be smoother, slower, rising up, expanding the heart. Invite your exhale to be smoother, slower, and more complete, from your pubic bone inward and upwards towards your solar plexus. And then just to gather some information about yourself and your current sort of biophysiological state, try pacing the length of your inhale and the length of your exhale so you can lightly count what those are. So you're getting information. You're not trying to do math or be coercive with this process. Just get the information. If inhale's longer than exhale, if inhale, exhale are equal, if your exhale is longer than your inhale. once you have some information, then keeping a memory of that, release the practice of the breath. Place your palms together at your heart. And after we chant, we'll do some pranayama and we'll check in again to see then what is the balance of inhale and exhale. We'll chant the Gayatri mantra this morning. Let's begin. Om Bhurva Suvah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimoi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurva Suvah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimoi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurva Suvah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimoi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. And with your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Okay, release your hands. Now, as you sit upright, we're going to use a practice briefly that we would use more greater investment of if it was this early morning practice, but it's a noon practice, so we'll use it briefly to help reset the pressure system between the upper thoracic and the abdominal region. So we'll do about 10 times Bhastrika, and then we'll inhale, suspend, and then we'll exhale. When we exhale, we're going to blow out through the mouth like a straw, toning the belly as much as you're able to. At the end of the exhale, you relax, so the breath blossoms into your body. Okay, let's try it together. Inhale through your nose, lower, middle, and upper. Hold the breath. Exhale out the mouth like a straw. Release the belly. Now again, a little sip of an inhale and then we'll begin. Inhale through your nose, lower, middle, and upper. And you're going to hold the inhale at the top. Out the mouth like a straw. Let the inhale blossom into the body. One more time, little sip of an inhale. 10 fairly rapid exhales. Inhale through the nose, lower, middle, and upper. Hold the breath. Exhale like a straw. Tone the belly, and then release the belly, let the inhale blossom into your body. From where you are sitting, walk your hands forward. If you're sitting on the floor, walk your hands out on the floor. If you're in a chair, walk out to the chair in front of you, or the desk, or the table. Release the weight of your head and allow your inhale to go smoothly into the back hemisphere of your body. And then exhale thoughtfully. Now walk back up to sitting. And second breathing practice this morning. We're going to inhale through the tongue like a straw. We'll be going up. This is called sitali. And then we're actually going to exhale out the same straw of the lips that we just used. So these are two different kinds of straws. Here's the sitali straw. The tongue goes like this. For those who can do that. For those whose genetics don't do that, the tip of the tongue goes behind the top two teeth, and you still inhale through the mouth, making a little whispering sound and cooling the breath as it comes in. And then we'll all exhale out through the straw of the lips together. So start with your chin down and in with your heart lifted up. And let's begin together, sitali. Exhale like a tiny straw. Slowly return your head to the beginning position as you take your time with the exhale. Inhale, sitali. Exhale like a tiny straw. Sitali. Exhale like a tiny straw. One more time. And exhale out like a tiny straw. release the belly and let the next in-breath just blossom forward. And let yourself sit in great quiet as if you were the surface of the water on which you could see the reflection of tall trees in the forest. Those trees providing shade and right now being deeply still. Now we will check the pace of the inhale and exhale as we did before chanting. And let's use Ujjayi breathing, so you're going to sense it for yourself, only to gather information, again, not to be coercive in any way. And do that for one more breath cycle, please. And so you have a bit more information now about yourself and the quality of your mind. I'm going to move back to my mat. I have my cord tangled. Just one moment, please. It's only tangled by the Swiss ball, but it's enough that I have to undo it. And so I'd like you to come up to standing, please. And thank you, Susie, for helping me with the cameras. I'll get my water glass. Okay, so when we come to stand this morning, let's do as we did a couple days ago, a wide stance on your yoga mat. And this wide stance, we're going to come forward and down and walk your hands out so the upper body appears like downward dog pose from the front or from the sky, but your lower body is doing Prasarita Padottanasana. And come into your Ujjayi breath, and I'd like you to pace the breath again, so you're going to be learning about yourself. And particularly notice now if you're able to make the exhale 2 or 3 counts longer than your inhale. And able to do that consistently for 4 or even 5 breath cycles, which will require your attention and your non-coercion. About 3 breath cycles more. The other thing required of us is that as you're practicing, if you're not quite getting it each time or there's inconsistencies, something to practice is accepting the progress and the process that you're in. So 2 more breath cycles there, please. When you complete the second exhale, then walk your hands back towards your mat, up to your hips, and please rise up to standing. And let's go heel toe together, please. Okay, reach back and interlace your fingers. Roll your shoulders back. Squeeze the arms back. And when you squeeze the arms back, lift your chest up and bring your chin down. And notice here, what is the pace of your breath? What are you able to do for about 4 breath cycles? So you have a lot of svadhyaya today. You're looking inside, considering how you partner with your body. To learn what the pace of your breath is also to give you feedback about sort of the state of your nervous system, your lungs, your heart. And then to see how you respond to yourself when it's going well, when you're struggling, or when it's not going well. What do you say to yourself? What happens in the inner conversation between you and your efforts? And release the clasp of your hands and arms. Let them dangle. And notice how the temperature of your arms will slowly change. And we're going to be using some twisting poses on the floor because twisting is helpful for digestion, also gets us down into the belly. And we're going to start with reclined twist because those are more cooling for your system than heating. However, I'm going to ask you to get a yoga strap. If you know you have short hamstrings, you will need a yoga strap, and you're going to want to have 2 blocks nearby. I'll put one as my rudder out here and one as my rudder over here. So what we're going to do is start with the left leg straight out, and if you need a yoga strap, you're going to put it over your right foot, right here. Otherwise, you can reach up with your fingers to hold your toes. But we're all going to begin like we did on Monday with just holding the back of the hamstring. So you can have your strap prepared, or your necktie, or your bathrobe sash, or the dog leash, whatever you're using. But start with your right knee into your chest. And take a deep breath in through the nose. Lengthen your left leg on the floor. And then when you exhale, reach from your deep low belly out through your left thigh, through your left heel, and beyond. Keeping your left leg as primary for your focus. Raise your right heel up towards the ceiling. I know those are going to be stretching sensations there, but I'm asking to keep your left leg primary because it's the grounded leg. Whether you're holding your own foot or a strap, relax your shoulders down towards the floor. So it should not feel like your shoulders are being pulled up off of the floor to hold your strap, nor to hold your foot. You can lengthen the back of your neck, so the chin should not feel like it's poking up towards the ceiling. You don't have to hold it down as if your throat is going to be tight, but try to keep it moderate. Right? And then open your right arm out to the side and look to your left where your block is. You might need both blocks to go on your left side because you could stack them higher as needed. We're going to take the right leg across to a spine twist where we want the right foot to have support. So as you're coming across, you can aim to look and see. And I can see for myself that I need 2 blocks today. I was just gardening, so that does change things for us day to day. So when you come across now, find the place where your right foot is going to be supported. And then you twist your upper body to your right and aim for your right shoulder to come back down towards the floor. So the pose should feel kind of airy or spacious. That's why we have the right arm out to the side. That's why we're using the blocks instead of having your foot come all the way to the floor. Roll your right hip down away from your right shoulder so the right side waist is also spacious. And then as you're breathing in and breathing out, now try to cultivate a breath that is either equal between inhale and exhale, or your exhale is a little bit longer than your inhale. Keeping your right shoulder rolled down away from your heart, so you have this sense like a little bit of a cascade from the heart to the collarbone to the shoulder, and pressing your right hip away from your shoulder too. Take another deep breath into the right hemisphere of your torso. And then use your exhale to float your right leg back up to center. As you come up, reach up with both hands. Lengthen your left leg, and then float your right leg up and bring it down next to your left leg so that both legs come down to the floor and each leg can rest heavily on the ground. Let your mind relax as much as possible. Release your low belly. And then you can move your blocks to the other side if you have only one block and you were using it, or like me, I had two blocks and I used them both. So you can set that up. And then bring your left knee to your chest, please. And when you first bring your left knee to your chest, again, don't straighten the leg right away. Let's get the right leg established. So you're going to inhale, lengthen through your right leg from your hip to your heel. And when you exhale, make your right leg longer yet again, even if only in your imagination. And then inhale, raise your left heel towards the sky. And reach up either with both hands or with your strap. And notice what is the quality of the breath, the length of your breath. And again, noticing it, not coercing it, but being aware that the pace of your breath is something you can have a relationship with. And we are going to bring the left leg across, so if you'll hold your strap with just your right hand, open your left arm out to the side, and come over to where your blocks are waiting for you. It should not feel like you have to fall onto the blocks with your left foot, but rather that the blocks are there to support you. Little landing pad. And then roll your left shoulder down away from your heart, so like a little cascade from the sternum to your left collarbone to your left arm. And roll your left hip down away from your left shoulder. And while you're breathing in and breathing out through the nose, start gently sensing the length of your breath And sometimes what you'll find is that, of course, you have strong sensations like a hamstring stretch or something, or the outer hip or outer thigh. And your breath pace changes, so does the sound or the openness or the smoothness. And that might be in response to the sensations. So your body may be tensing slightly somewhere. And that might indicate that you could work the breath a little bit differently, or it could indicate that you've taken the pose more deeply than your threshold once for this afternoon. In that case, you'd back off from the pose slightly by raising the block a little bit higher. Let's do one more inhale, let the left leg be long. And when you exhale, float your left leg back up to center. And lay your left leg down next to your right leg. So you're coming down slowly, slowly. And then let both legs relax on the floor. So your hips are heavy. Thighs and knees and shins and heels can be heavy with relaxation. And then please bend one knee at a time. Roll to your right side and come up to table pose. You can put the blocks aside. When you come to table pose, let me switch the cord there. When you come to table pose, place your hands so they're shoulder width apart and also so they're parallel. And the knees can be a few inches back behind your hips. Step your right hand forward. Cross your right hand to the upper left corner of your mat. Turn to the back of your right hand. And then as you come down, come to your outer right elbow, outer right shoulder. And twist your upper body a little bit to your left, so you can even rest your head on your right upper arm. Step the left toes back for a moment like you're going to go to plank pose with your left foot, and that's going to help you to twist your upper body a little more to your left. And try to keep the twist of the upper back now to your left. You can lower your left knee back down to the floor. And see if you can do it without untwisting the upper back. So you might find that you're able to stretch into your sort of upper right shoulder blade, right outer side, the rib cage, the shoulder blade, the right side waist. Enjoy a deep inhale. And then exhale, press into your left palm and return yourself to table pose. Step your left hand forward of your right. Step it to the upper right hand corner of your mat. Come to the back of your left hand. And as you reach down with the back of your left wrist, left shoulder, rest your head on your left upper arm. Go ahead and step your right foot back for a few moments. So it goes to plank pose, and you're going to be able to twist your upper back a little more to your right. And then start lowering your right knee back down to the floor. And you might find that you're able to add to the stretch of your mid-back, outer left shoulder blade, or the upper left part of your shoulder. Breathe in through your nose. And then exhale, press down through your right palm, return to table, and then curl your toes under. Let's reach up to downward facing dog pose. Take your gaze back between the toes of your feet. And when you stretch into your downward dog pose, this is another time where you can check and see, okay, what is the quality of the breath and its pace and its tone? What's happening now? I'm watching your stillness and inwardness with great appreciation. Thank you for concentrating so beautifully. Let's do 3 breath cycles more. So this is your time to learn about the pace of your breath, the quality of your mind, the inner feeling of your body. From your downward dog pose, touch your knees down, please. And when you touch the knees down, go ahead and take a peek here. We're going to sit back to kneeling and then take both hips down to your right. So you're sitting and you go to the Z formation, which looks like this. Why we call it Z is kind of mysterious. Kind of looks like the letter Z, but not quite. So the left foot goes back around behind like so, and the right thigh is on the floor here. Yeah, so this pose goes like this. You're going to cross your left hand to your right knee and walk the right hand out on a little diagonal and begin twisting to your right. It is okay for your left hip to come slightly forward. And as you twist, first twist into your upper back to the right. And then you can walk your left hand out. So let's imagine that the left hand and the right hand, they were on a little race together, and the ribbon is at the end of your yoga mat. So you're trying to walk your left hand out to match your right hand. But keep the right arm strong. So the twist includes the strength of your right arm. Your left hip may be rising up, and that's okay right now. When you sense that you've walked your left hand as far as it can comfortably go, then walk your left hand over towards your right wrist. And then lean towards your left shoulder, as if you were going to lay your left shoulder down onto the floor. We're not going to go all the way down. And then exhale, roll that back up to center. Walk your hands around. Rise up to your Z position. So you're just sitting for a moment. And then you can swing your feet around to the other side. So this little Z position, the right foot comes around your outer right hip and left leg like so. Cross your right hand to your left knee and walk the left hand out on a little bit of a diagonal right here. And as you're walking in this direction, twisting to your left, start walking your right fingers out as if the ribbon for this race was the far end of your mat. Please keep twisting to your left by pressing into your left fingertips. You really have a sense of the strength of your left arm. And walk your right hand over towards your left hand. And lean a little bit to your right. So leaning into your right shoulder, right upper back. And then walk yourself back up to center. So this twist and the last twist, they both had your upper thoracic spine more in flexion, less in extension. Notice how you're feeling right now. And then I'm going to ask you to pivot so that you're sitting on your hips and you have your knees bent with your feet on the floor in front of you. Walk your fingertips back, and you can do fingertips pointing out to the left and the right, thumbs into the center. Roll your shoulders up and back. Lift your heart. As you breathe in, lift your heart and your collarbones. Exhale, and then with your next inhale, raise your left arm high and twist across your right knee. So place the left elbow to the outside of your right knee, walk your right fingertips back in a half circle, gaze over your right shoulder. And try to place the thoracic spine in extension, so it should feel a little bit like cobra pose. Yeah, like that. With your left arm, I'm going to recommend that you keep it strong and also straight if possible, to press your left arm against your right knee. and your right knee into your left arm. This way your pelvis can be mostly stable on the floor and the twist will be primarily in the inner belly. Use your inhale to rise up to your heart like cobra pose. And then exhale, come around to face forward, both hands behind you. Roll your shoulders back, lift your heart. And inhale, raise your right arm high. And cross your right elbow over your left knee. As you twist here, walk your left hand back in a half circle. Lift your heart into cobra pose. As you roll your heart up and your collarbones rise, press your left knee against your right elbow and your right arm back against your knee. So you're stabilizing there to put the twist into the inner belly. And then we're going to inhale, raise your right arm up. And once more, come into this little back bend. Thank you, I can see you in my mirror. So fingers roll back, roll the shoulders back, lift your heart up. Walk your hands a tiny bit further back. So you're actually going to lean back slightly so the torso is like 45-degree angle. And then raise up with your heart and your collarbones. And inhale, raise your right arm. Let's keep the backward slant of the torso and come across to a twist where it's probably the back of your right wrist, left wrist, excuse me, to the outside of your right knee. So left wrist across and twist to your right. And breathe in one more time. Exhale, enjoy the twist in the low belly. Then inhale, raise your left arm high and open your left arm out to the side. Walking back with both arms, you have this gentle lean back with the torso. Raise your heart up, please. And then inhale, raise your right arm, keeping this at a backwards lean of the torso. Bring your right wrist to the outside of your left knee and twist to your left. Keep a little cobra pose in your upper back, a little bit of a back bend. And then once more, raise your right arm up. And we're going to take the right arm down back towards this little back bend, like a little slant of the torso. Raise your chest and heart up. And then roll up to sitting for the purpose of rolling down. Come on to your back. I should have said this, sorry you guys. Put your feet under, put your blocks under your feet, sorry. Put your blocks under your feet on the flat setting. Roll down and then raise up to bridge pose. Reach back underneath the bridge pose and interlace your fingers or hold your yoga strap between your hands. Tuck the shoulders well under.
as you next exhale, start the process of rolling your spine down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Using your foot dexterity, scoot your blocks into position for Baddha Konasana with your legs. Okay, so you place the soles of the feet together. Bring the blocks close enough that you do feel like you're going to be supported by the blocks. This is not actually an inner thigh stretch. This is a chance to give attention to the pelvis and the pelvic organs. So you make the knees as high as you need to for that to be really comfortable. And close your eyes and let your awareness go inside to the place in you that you know is most loving, most wise, and also most tranquil. When you drop inside like that, you can imagine it as a place most wise, most loving, most tranquil. You could picture it like a place you've been in nature, that your body has a body memory of. Let yourself rest in that body memory, and to feel that as a fresh experience your body can recall the most tranquil, most loving, most wise place within you. chest to go a little bit deeper so you have this inner place to which you can return, a place you've been cultivating over quite some period of time, a place of refuge, tranquility. Just lightly deepen your breathing. When you feel ready to, slowly bring your knees back up to center. And you can roll to your right side and in your own way return to sitting. As you rise up to sit, rest your hands in your lap and just try to sense the quality of your mind, your heart, your body, your presence with yourself. Join your hands together at your heart. And sensing this place to which you're able to return through the practice of yoga, a place of wisdom and love and clarity. Let it be a memory to carry you through this afternoon, this evening, the days to come. We'll chant Om Shanti together. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. I hope you felt like you got to come to some good resting in yourself, some good tranquility, a place that you can return to again and again. For those of you who are in Alaska, it is still the Pitta time of day for you. It starts just after the Kapha period of the morning. You could say by 10 a.m. you're in the Pitta part of the day. Depending on the latitude and the sun, maybe it's actually earlier for you guys. But this Pitta practice is suited to Alaska. It's suited to anyone to practice when they have Pitta imbalance, of course. Thank you, Marin. I can see that from here. I'll come up to visit with you guys closer.
Thank you, Daniela. I see your note. Yeah.
Sarah Joy, this is April. Can I